Hello Stampers! I'm Dina Lanzendorf at Ink with Dink and welcome to my Facebook Live. I just want to give it a second for people to jump on, and also I gotta look and make sure that I am in the right place. Always something you worry about. Oh, I don't see it yet. I complain every time, I know, that Facebook changes things and does it different. Every time I'm getting ready to do a live, I have to do it differently than I did before. Only today my problem was not Facebook, it was my phone. So my phone did a recent update and the going live on Facebook was different on it. So everybody just keeps toying with me and trying to make it hard for me to do my Facebook Lives. But that's all right. They don't know what they're up against, and I'm very persistent and I will find a way to make it work. So I'm really excited that you guys are joining me today. If you're not live, that you're probably watching on a replay. So I am excited to be sharing with you today the Seascape Bundle that is from the new catalog. So if you guys are ready, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and let's begin. So the new Seascape Bundle that is in the catalog is just so pretty. So it's a stamp set and then the coordinating dies. And the dies, I gotta tell you, they look upside down, are amazing in what they do and what they cut out. They're very detailed, very intricate, but super easy to use. So we will be playing with those today. And like I said, the stamp set is called Seascape, and it's really fun. It has some great verses in it. And I just love the coral, the seaweed, the little fish, just lots of fun stuff to play with. So this is also the bundle for my online class that's going on right now that has one more day for you to register for. And before I am done today, I will show you the cards that we'll be making on this online class because I love them and think they're so cool too. So let's get started on this. So the first card we're going to make is just a pretty simple one. I like it, and I like this bundle because you can do masculine and feminine cards very easily. So this one I thought was a good masculine thank you card. So let me show you what I did. So we're going to start off with a piece of cardstock that is your card base, and this looks too wide now that I'm looking at it, and it is. Okay, so your regular cardstock base to start off needs to be 8.5 by 5.5. And sometimes what I do is I will throw scraps of cardstock into my scrap files, and then I'll pull one out to use as a card base, and it's the wrong size. So there you go. So we're just going to fold this in half to be our card base. Use your bone folder along the fold to make it nice and crisp. Then we're going to need another piece of crumb cake, and it is going to be 3.25 by 3.25. So let's just cut this one real fast. Let's go this way first, and then we'll go this way, just like that. Now on this one, I'm going to stamp, okay? So I'm going to use my crumb cake just so that I have kind of a tone on tone, and I'm going to do the big corally piece, okay? I like him. I use him on a couple different cards, even in the club, because it's just a cool piece. So we're just gonna ink it all up real good, and I'm just gonna center it in the middle here, zoop, and stamp it down. Okay, pretty simple. And then I'm also going to stamp my thank you down here on the front of my card. So we'll ink it up and put it right there. Now I also have a piece of balmy blue, and this one measures, I believe, 3.5 by 3.5. Yep. And it's just going to be my matte layer for my crumb cake piece. So let's get our adhesive. I have a nice fresh new bottle of adhesive. We're just going to adhere that down centered right there. And then we're going to go ahead and put this on our card front. And I'm just going to center that right there. Okay. Now we're ready to do the fish. So I'm going to use the fish stamp, and I'm going to keep with my same colors and stamp him in balmy blue. So I just have a scrap of vanilla cardstock. I'm going to ink him up. Stamp him right there. It's okay that we have lines around it, because guess what? We are going to fussy cut. So yes, there are a set of dies that coordinate with this, but the dies do not cut out any of these stamped images. So it is my kind of bundle because I love to fussy cut, so I don't care that there aren't dies for the images. But just so you know, if you're hoping that the dies will cut out your stamped images, they will not on this bundle. These dies are just coordinating so that the images that they do cut out go perfectly with the stamped images. So you can usually use these stamped images to do more like backgrounds and stuff, and very little of images like this that you're actually going to cut out and make layers. And so if you do backgrounds like that, then you don't have to cut them out anyway. Okay, so I do want to pop him up so that he looks like he is swimming. So, oops, and I threw my card. Got my dimensional on there. Let's take the backing off. Put our little fishy right there. And then with this suite, I am using the Artistry Blooms adhesive backed sequins. I like these sequins because I thought they would be good like just sparkly things for in the water, or even bubbles for my fish. So that's what I'm going to use it as now. So I'm just going to take a few of them and kind of scatter them going up to look like bubbles from the fish. And there you go. There is the first card. How easy was that? But just kind of shows that you can even use this bundle to do masculine cards too. All right, the next one we're going to make is kind of another fun one. Like this, it's got a little more color added to it, but look at this beautiful seahorse that it cuts out. It is amazing. So let me tell you something about these dies. So these dies will cut out the image, but they won't cut it out all the way. So let me show you what I mean by that. So this is the seahorse that I cut out, and I can go through and punch out all the extra little pieces that cut out, but the seahorse itself won't come out because it stays attached. And that is so you can go and put, and I don't have an example here, but another like layer behind, and then it will show through like that. Okay, so it's to give it that kind of look. But it's super easy if you want to go ahead and cut it out, because all you have to do is just go through and trim. So if you look right here, okay, that's a little area that doesn't cut. So if you just take it and snip it right there, it pops it right out. And then snip it right there. And then let's come around to the back of the seahorse and the back of his neck back here. You have to snip that. And then down here at the bottom of his back fin, you have to snip that, and then he pops right out. Okay, so super easy to do if you want it all the way out, which I like it like that. But I also will have some cards to show you of if you leave it as part of the background and how that looks. So super cool. Like I said, I love these dies and the details. I think they are beautiful. So that's what we did for this next card. We just cut out a seahorse. My base of my card is going to be balmy blue because I wanted it to look like water. And it's again 8.5 by 5.5. We're just going to fold it in half, use our bone folder. And I kind of wanted to do some different layers on this. So our very back layer is this seaweed that's been stamped. So I'm going to take the seaweed stamp, and I'm actually going to use Granny Apple Green because I wanted something nice and bright. So I'm just going to ink it up, and I'm just going to stamp some seaweed along the bottom here. I want to kind of go up and down so it's not all the same height, and do it just like that. Then our next layer is this white rectangle that I have cut out using the Stitched So Sweetly dies. Love these dies. If you don't have these, you need these for all the labels and backgrounds. They are a great set of dies. But what I want to do on that, because you can certainly put the seahorse directly on it, but I thought it stood out a little better on this one, and it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but I have sponged blue behind it, okay, just to make it pop a little bit. So let me show you how I did that. So I'm using one of our blending brushes, and I'm going back to my balmy blue, and all I want to do is just brush a little bit of blue on here. So in case you don't remember how to use the blending brushes, I have a blending brush not for every color of stamp pad, but for every general color. So like I have a red one, I have one for pinks, I have one for oranges, one for yellows, one for greens, one for blues, and I just kind of have them like that so that I've got a general color family. Because once they will stain a little bit, but once you take it and rub it off, the color's gone. It's not coming off anymore. So you just want to be sure that you don't have a dark color that you use on a yellow one or something like that. So I just keep the general color to a brush. So all you do is you take your brush and you kind of tap down. You tap a couple times on your placemat and then go directly to your paper and start swirling. And the more you swirl, okay, and the more layers you put on, the darker it's going to get. So why do we tap on our placemat, okay? And I will show you on here. You know what, let me turn it over and I'll show you. If you do this and then you start going, you're going to get the lines like that, okay? You tap and then you start going. It doesn't blend and you get the circles from the brush. So that is why you tap here and then go, and then you don't get those. It takes that initial glob of ink off, and then you don't end up with that. So just kind of add it on here, as many layers as you want, okay, till you've got some on here. And then we're just going to adhere that down there, and it just makes it pop a little bit. But also what I want to do is they have this cute little stamp in this set that's the bubbles. So I thought, ooh, let's do some bubbles on here. And then it looks like he's really in the water. So I just like to kind of twirl my paper around so that you don't see like a pattern with the bubbles, and kind of do it like that. And that way they're just very random looking bubbles on there. And then we're just going to put him down. So what I'm going to do to adhere him is I'm using my liquid glue. I'm just going to put it in some of the more solid areas on here to get him to go down. It's going to center him on there just like that. Okay? And now he is going to be my next layer just like that. Now see how I have his tail popping up? That's good. I want that to pop up for just a little bit. So let's go ahead and adhere this white piece down, and I'll show you the next thing we're going to do. So I'm just going to center this on my card just like this. Now to add a pop of color, I have cut out a piece of coral, which is one of the dies here. I have cut out a piece of coral in Calypso Coral, so very appropriate. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some of my liquid adhesive on the back of this. And I want him to go under my seahorse a little bit. So let's put it where we want it here, plop that down. Then I can plop my seahorse tail down and make him be the other layer, just like that. Okay, he's hanging off just a bit here, so let's trim him off. And there you go. There is our second card, but isn't that die beautiful? So pretty. Vicki says she likes the design. Thanks. I thought it was kind of fun, but I love the details in these dies. All right, for our third one, this one's really going to be fun. we're going to do this, okay? Now this is the fish die, and again, look at the detail on that. Look at how beautiful that is. It's so pretty. So this is the card we're going to do now. So we're going to start off, and I'm going to use just a piece of white cardstock, okay, just your basic white cardstock, and I want to add the colors that we want the fish to be, okay? So you can certainly cut it out and then color this with your blending brushes, or do like I'm going to do and color the paper first and then cut the fish out, okay? So all I have done was I've just picked a few colors. So I'm going to do Mango Melody, Calypso Coral, and Granny Apple Green, okay? And all I'm going to do is just do some blending with my brushes again, okay? So I'm just going to kind of do this and hit down, and I'm just going to start coloring. No rhyme or reason. What I'm doing is I'm just going to color, okay? Then after I've got one color, let's pop onto the second color, do Calypso Coral, and kind of fill in some of these areas. Okay, now we will take our Mango Melody and fill it in just a little bit more. All right. So then we're ready to cut out our fish. So I'm just going to grab my die cut machine. I'm just going to lay my paper down, and let's get our fish die, and we're just going to pop that down there like that. Put our top cutting plate, and let's crank this out. Oh, Vicki says, thanks to the Happy Mail group for the birthday cards today. Yes, I am loving our Happy Mail group. We are having so much fun sending cards. And by the way, happy birthday, Vicki. All right, so we're going to put this down, and here you can see again how the die cuts out. Okay, so this is the same kind in that it's going to cut all the details out of here. Okay, but the fish stays intact. So if you want to put it on your card and you want to keep it like this, you certainly can. Okay, so you could post it on something like this, okay, and it would still pop. You kind of pull it up like that, and it just kind of gives it some dimension. I like the look of it, of actually cutting it out, okay, and actually taking it away from its background. So that's what I'm going to do again for this card. Now do keep in mind, because there are all these little intricate cuts, that it does take a little bit of time to get all your pieces out. Your die brushes will certainly help. I don't have luck with die brushes. I just don't like them. I would rather poke the pieces out myself, because I feel like die brushes will get some of the pieces out, but you still end up poking them all out. So I'd rather just poke them out. All right, so we're getting there. Let's do this side. Some come out so easy, and some just want to stick. Okay, so there is our fish. So now, same thing, you're just going to kind of go around, and there are just certain places that need to be, let's go from underneath here, that need to be snipped, okay? So the top and the bottom of the fish's head need to be snipped. And then back here, his body. And then the top of his body right here. And then he falls right out and looks like that. Isn't he pretty? He's just very tie-dye looking. I like him. All right, so there is our fish. Now on this card, look at this. Okay, that is another one of our fun new dies. This set of dies, I had to have it right away, is the basic border dies. And you can use these for scrapbook pages or cards or anything. But all we're going to do is we're just going to take this one here because I thought it looked like bubbles. And we're going to cut along the bottom edge of our layer of the card. So you're just going to take it and lay it down. I'm going to take my die and just put it wherever you want to. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I'm going to add my top cutting plate, run it through. And I love the idea that we're going to be able to do these not only on our card fronts, but on the layers of our cards. Just lots of ways to use these dies. So look at that, isn't it pretty? And it gives you the stitching along the edge of it too. So it's so pretty. I love the way that looks. So let's go ahead and put our card together. So my base of my card is Granny Apple Green. I gotta say, when this color first came out, I was like, ooh, that's awful bright, but I love it. I use it quite a bit. Down at the bottom of the card, I'm just going to stamp this "I'm here for you always." I just kind of like that and thought this bright little fish would really brighten someone's day if someone's just going through kind of a hard time. So let's ink this up. And we're going to center this down here, boop, just like that. Then I am ready to add this layer. So I'm just going to use my liquid glue all along there, and we're going to adhere this to our front just like that. Okay, now we're ready to put our fish down, and he's really going to stand out against that white background. So using my liquid, and I don't want any on the tails because I want the tails to be kind of flowy. So we'll just put this down here and leave my tails flowy and up, and he's got a little piece, there we go, off the back. There we go. That needs to come off like that. Isn't it fun? I love the way that looks. Then again, you can use some more of our little sequins if you just want to add a little bit of color. We can use some of the big ones and just kind of pop them around. Remember that things like this always look better on your embellishment when you use them in threes or in odd numbers. So you can kind of go something like that, and there's your card. Isn't that fun? Just kind of fun thing to do. And taking advantage of these new dies. I love these new border dies. So there you go. Those are our 3 super fast projects for today. But let me show you the cards that we're going to be making for this time's online class. So as part of my online class, you will be getting a package of this Specialty Designer Series paper. Okay, it's called Ombre Specialty Paper. And it is glimmer paper and it is ombre. So it's going to be lighter at the top and gets darker just like this as it goes down. That's kind of hard to see reflecting there. But it is beautiful paper. Beautiful. So you'll get a whole package of this in the club. You're also going to get 5 sheets of our vellum cardstock, and then you will also get a package of the Artistry Blooms sequins. Okay. In addition to that, well, the online class is $35 this month. So in addition to that, you're going to get the supplies to make these 6 cards. Okay, so we've got this one. Of course, we have to throw a purple and look at that glimmer paper. And then there's one of our fish. We've got some glimmer paper on this one. Look at the blue glimmer paper. Does that not look like water? That is so cool. throw in some masculine cards, and then we've got kind of a fun fold card that we're doing on this one. So we will be making these 6 cards. What I do is I come up with a private Facebook group that is only for my online class, and that way you guys have lots of places where you can ask questions or anything like that. I do a Facebook Live, show you how to put your cards together. It is recorded, so you can watch it again at any time that you need to, and it's just kind of a nice private little group for, like I said, you to have a chance to ask questions or anything like that, get any help that you may need. So this online class is open for registration through tomorrow. I will put the registration link in the description as soon as I get this video edited. But I hope you have enjoyed watching these cards that I've made with the Seascape Bundle. It is a really fun bundle and makes some pretty, pretty cards. So leave me a comment, and in 48 hours I will draw 3 names so that I can give away one of each of these cards, and 3 lucky winners I will mail one of these cards to you. So all you have to do is leave me some kind of a comment to get your name entered into that drawing, and I will get them mailed out to you. So thank you all so much for joining me today, for watching this, and if you have any questions, let me know, and otherwise I will catch you next time.